What is going on? Kind of fools here with Week 3 predictions of the NFL season. This is just a random franchise game. Players testing out sliders. Gameplay usually does not matter for these videos, as I say before. Kind of choose a podcast to listen while you're doing something else. So last week I was 10-6. Good week. A lot of 1-point games that I won at the last second. I picked the right team, luckily. This week I picked the Chiefs. The Chiefs won. I'm not gonna do the Thursday game videos anymore. I'm just gonna say them on Twitter like an hour before the game. I picked the Chiefs to win, so I'm already 1-0 for Week 3. My total is 17-15 for the year. So let's get right into Week 3. First game: Houston Texans versus the Baltimore Ravens. Ray Rice is doubtful for this game, meaning he probably has 25% chance of playing. I don't see him playing, but they do have Bernard Pierce, who is a good running back. And he's bigger and more, I would say, a little bit more physical. I haven't really watched them compared physically. He's got that offensive line in front of him that can run block. So, also Houston is getting destroyed by quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers week 1 just lit them up first half. Luckily they came back. Torrey Smith's gonna have a big game here. Moore's gonna have a big game. Dallas Clark's in it. Maybe. I think this game depends on what defense shows up. If the Ravens show up and play run defense pretty much, if you force the Texans to pass, they're kind of, terrible. They led comebacks in both games, but force them to pass the ball early, they're gonna struggle. I think the Ravens win this game. They need to win this game. They're 1-1. Texans came back 2 games. They've been a pretty lucky team this year, and they're going against the Ravens, so I think it'll be a close game, but I think the Ravens win because their defense will cause a couple turnovers. That'll lead the points for the Ravens. So I have the Ravens winning this game. Next game, New York Giants versus Panthers. New York Giants got slapped around last week against the Broncos. Their defense is terrible once again. Their offense, they have no run game at the moment. They kind of weird. They kind of just like, hey, David Wilson, we think you're the best back of the team. Let's not play you all game, type of deal. So, and then they play the Panthers, who is starting an undrafted rookie at free safety. They're really hurting the secondary. Their front seven is really good. Early in the week I was like, this game's gonna be a shootout. But just knowing how the Giants have turned the ball over 10 times, I just think they're gonna do some bonehead stuff this game. I still see them winning the game. I think the only way the Panthers win this game is if they don't play conservative like the past 2 weeks and let Cam Newton throw. Giants secondary is pretty terrible this year. They could run the ball. They just need to not play conservative like the last 2 weeks they have. They would have won both games if they decided not to play conservative. So I think if Panthers do not play conservative this week, they win. But I still think they'll go conservative, and I think the Giants will end up winning this game. Next, Lions versus Redskins. Redskins are terrible. I'm pretty sure that everybody's got that down. Worst defense in the league. They're on pace to be the worst defense in history of NFL, beating the 2012 Saints. They can't run the read option, and their offense is gone pretty much. RG3 stats are coming from garbage time, so don't look at it and be like, oh, let's have a good season. He's garbage time 2 weeks in a row. I didn't expect the Redskins to do much coming into the season, and they're doing worse than I thought. RG3 doesn't look comfortable. And all that hype surrounding him, and really he's protected by the read option, which I kind of knew that because they ban the ball a lot. They really can't do that because they can't run the read option, which opens up the passing game for them. So they're struggling on both sides of the ball. I think at some point they might have to consider benching RG3, just because they could. Kirk Cousins looked good without the read option, and if they can't get RG3 going without the read option, they might just want to be like, well, when we feel comfortable running with you, then we will put you in the game. But I don't think that'll become serious consideration until at early the end of this week, beginning of next week. But I would say week 6 is kind of the way. Maybe if they're 0-6 or something, but I doubt that'll happen. But it's something to look at. Because if they're 0-6, there's no point in risking RG3, their franchise quarterback. If they just can't get going, the defense can't play, there would have to be some consideration there. Maybe Kirk Cousins just goes off. They could trade either one of them. I doubt they'll trade RG3. They could trade Kirk Cousins, get a pick, improve that defense. A lot of options for the Redskins here. Lions, on the other hand, Reggie Bush, I don't know. I don't even know if he's playing. Some are saying he'll play, but limited. Some play, they might just hold him out. I think the Lions win this game. They just have the superior offense and superior defense at the moment. I think it'll be a shootout game. Every time I see that with the Redskins, they get blown out in the first half, and they kind of just, just garbage time. So that's probably what's going to end up happening. But I take the Lions. Next game, Chargers versus Titans. Both teams kind of on the uprise. Philip Rivers looks like a new Philip Rivers. Almost beat the Texans week 1. And then beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Titans destroyed the Steelers week 1. Had a pretty decent lead against Texans. Blew it. I'm going to say Chargers win this game. I think it's going to come down to quarterback play. Philip Rivers is better than Jake Locker. Chargers have a pretty underrated defense. Titans, pretty underrated defense. Just this quietly a good game, but I think it comes down to quarterback play. And Philip Rivers looks like a new Philip Rivers. Doesn't look like the turnover guy. We'll have to see. It's only week 3, so I'm gonna say the Chargers win this game, but it's a close one. Next game, Cardinals versus Saints. The Saints' first real test for defense. Can they stop? Well, actually the Falcons, but I don't know. Falcons' offensive line is pretty bad. I don't know. This could be a real test, could be not. I expect it to be a close game. The Saints have their offense hasn't been the Saints' offense. First week, 23 points. Last week, I think it was 18. They scored a last-second field goal. I'm going to see the Cardinals win this game. I think they have the emergence of Carson Palmer, Andre Ellington. If Mendenhall gets hurt, he's kind of an explosive guy. Patrick Peterson is an extra weapon. Larry Fitzgerald, Andre Roberts. They get their tight end back, Rob Hausler. I think the Cardinals win this game. The Saints just really banged up on defense. And the Cardinals defense is secretly a top 5 defense, I think, total yardage wise. So I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. A kind of an upset here. Next game, Buccaneers versus Patriots. Josh Freeman is terrible. Patriots receivers are terrible, except for Julian Edelman. All week it's Gronk. Oh, he's 50-50 to play. He's like, oh, he's probably not going to play. It's just, I don't know. If he were to play, that offense will get going because he helps in the running game and the passing game. But I do not expect him playing, from what I've heard, from what I've read and everything. I still take the Patriots to win this game. Their defense has got to cause turnovers, which is not hard against Josh Freeman. They have a good run defense. If Tom Brady can just, they need the running game for the Patriots, to be honest. I think they'll actually try to run it more this game. But the Buccaneers defense is going to keep them in this game. Unless Josh Freeman plays like the Josh Freeman it did the first half of last season, they aren't going to win, but if he does, they will win. But I'm taking the Patriots. Next game, Packers versus Bengals, which is a very exciting game. I wish I could actually watch this because the Bills game is at 4 o'clock, and I do not know why. Bengals kind of struggle against the Bears. Steelers, they kind of just ran the ball game. Packers passed the ball. Eddie Lacy's probably not going to play due to concussion. James Starks kind of broke out last week. But he's going against the Bengals, who are a pretty stout defense. And I expect them to pass the ball more. I'm going to say the Packers win this game just because they have a superior quarterback. Andy Dalton looked terrible Monday night. He was just off his throws with A.J. Green. I'm not sure if the Packers will be full strength in the secondary. But, I think it's going to be a close game. But I just think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a guy that could drive him down the field, while Andy Dalton's just going to be just missing throws every time. Unless he's on spot this week, then I think the Packers run away with this game. But if the Bengals if Andy Dalton just plays, he doesn't overthrow people or underthrow them, he just makes his passes, then they'll have a chance. But I'm going to say the Packers. Next, Rams versus Cowboys. Cowboys lost by 1. Rams kind of got blown out, and then garbage time they scored. I'm going to say the Rams win this game. The Cowboys, I think it'll end up being a shootout because the Rams secondary is poo-poo. The Cowboys secondary is kind of banged up. Morris Claiborne, I think he's playing limited time. I'm not sure if he is this week. But I say the Rams win this game. I think this is the week where Tony Romo will make his mistakes. I think DeMarco Murray needs to kind of carry this for them. Dez is kind of banged up. Question is if they're going to double Dez. I don't think they will, but I'm not 100% sure they will. But I think the Rams win this game just because they're playing against the cover 2 with a speedy offense. Or Tampa 2. Jared Cook will destroy the Tampa 2. Tavon Austin will destroy the Tampa 2. Chris Givens will destroy the Tampa 2. Tampa 2 you do not want to run against an athletic team like the Rams. I think the defense will falter this week for the Cowboys. I take the Rams. Next game, Browns versus Vikings. I'm taking the Vikings, but I want to talk about the Trent Richardson trade. Football-wise, the trade makes sense. The brass must have not liked Trent Richardson the first 2 games. Kind of a small dose of him. They got a first-round pick. Colts, on the other hand, get the running back they want. They're a physical runner. They help the power game. Trent Richardson's not going to face as many stacked boxes as he will. And he's not playing against the Steelers, Ravens, and the Bengals defense 6 times a year. So I think to look at this trade, you gotta wait 3 years. We gotta see who the Browns pick with that pick the Colts gave them, or whatever pick they get, their first pick. But on the other hand, this was a disgusting trade. Middle of week 3, you're basically giving up on the season. The hope for the Bengals was Trent Richardson. They have no quarterback. They just got Josh Gordon back, and then they traded Trent Richardson. And week 2, they gave up that fast. They're basically saying tanking. They had a really good defense. The defense kept them in the game. The only thing that was minuscule was their quarterback play. They have Jason Campbell. And we should have seen it coming when they decided to start Brian Hoyer over Jason Campbell. I didn't understand it at first, and then they traded Trent Richardson, and so they're tanking. They're seeing if Hoyer is the guy. They could have easily won this division. This division is weak. Really, really weak this year. I don't understand why. If I was a Browns fan, I'd be pretty pissed. It's just kind of like your team You want your team to be competitive every year, even if they're shitty. Even if they're, like, the worst team. Look at the Raiders. Everybody thought the Raiders would be bad. They're 1-1. And, like, nobody expected them to be 1-1. I just think, I don't know, it's disgusting that a team would, week 2, would basically give up the season. And they trade Trent Richardson at week 2. Maybe wait till the trade deadline and then trade him. But decide, hey, let's just trade him now. Even though it was for a first round pick, but that's going to be a mid-round pick. And they traded up 1 pick for Trent Richardson because they were scared a team would trade with Minnesota to get them. They could have traded down and got Ryan Tannehill, who's sneakily having a good season. They could have got a defensive player, Stephon Gilmore. I'm trying to think of the other one, Luke Kulichi. They could have did so much, but they decided to trade up 1 pick and throw extra picks in there, and then they trade him a year later because the new guys didn't like him the first 2 regular season games. That, I don't know. It baffles me that they do that a week 2, and I feel bad for the Browns fans because, like I said, you want your team to be competitive every year. Even if you know they suck, you want them to win. You watch every game. And now they trade Trent Richardson. I don't know if Browns fans should even watch the games because they know they're tanking. They put Brian Hoyer in over Jason Campbell. They traded Trent Richardson. I just don't know. That's all I gotta say. It was such a stupid trade. Like, football-wise, maybe not. We gotta give 3 years, but it was just a stupid trade. Basically, telling your fans, "Hey, we're giving up on the season." It's kind of like, okay, but you got teams like the Raiders of Jacksonville who aren't just like, "Oh, let's start trading players, start releasing players." They're still out there playing. It's only week 2. For all we know, Jacksonville could just blow the hell up and win that division. We don't know. They might be a bad team. They might have just completely turned it out in 1 week. Oakland could be a wild card team. They have given up hope. It's week 2. They haven't benched their quarterback. They haven't benched anybody. But the Browns just give up at week 2 when their defense has held them in the games. They just needed to put a different quarterback in, but they decided to blow it all up. I don't know. Let's move on. Next, Falcons versus Dolphins. Dolphins are going to win this game. The Falcons are too banged up. Roddy White, I don't think, is 100%. Sam Baker, the left tackle, is out for this game. No offensive line, pretty much. They lost Corey Bierman, who was supposed to be their defensive pressure guy. Torn Achilles, he's out for the year. Sean Witherspoon is on IR, designated return, which is week 11. Asante Samuel's only played 7 snaps this year. They're coming in this year. The defense I looked at, I was like, oh, well, it's going to be average. Now I think it'll be one of the worst in the league, and I think that offensive line is terrible. I think it's going to be an uphill battle for Falcons. I just don't see winning this game. Miami is really impressed me. I was totally wrong about it. I thought they were overrated, but their defense is playing lights out. Their offense is playing really well. Only problem I see from them was pretty much their run game, which improved last week, but they were playing the Colts. They're playing the Falcons this week. But I think this should be a cakewalk for Miami. I think their defense will hold them in check. I think their offense will destroy their front 7, which is pretty weak. Just injuries are going to kill the Falcons. It's not like they're a bad team. It's just injuries at the wrong time, at the wrong position. But I think it'll be an uphill battle for the Falcons. It was going to be already a tough year to make it into the playoffs because of the emergence of other teams. But I'm going to say Miami wins this game. Next game, Bills-Jets, 4:25 game. I don't know why we always have 4 o'clock games against Jets when they're at home. Kind of dumb, to be honest. Gotta wait till 4 o'clock to see this game, which is going to be like a 10-point game. But I'm going to take the Bills. I think Geno Smith is just not showed the poise of EJ Manuel. He holds on to the ball too long. EJ had a couple mistakes this week, but he went 80 yards in a minute 36 with no timeouts. He had mistakes this game, but he made up for it in that drive. Geno Smith really has been shitty all year, and people already in the organization do not trust him. So I'm gonna go with the Bills. The Jets' defense is really good, and they're gonna win them games this year. But just Geno Smith has played so bad. The offense has really no weapons that it's gonna hold that defense back, and that's been the story of the Jets the past couple of years. So I'm gonna take the Bills for winning this game. I think it'll be a close game. I just don't. I think Myles Williams had 4.5 sacks this week. Jets allowed 9 sacks for first 2 games because Geno Smith holds the ball too long. And we have a pretty premier defensive line. Miles Sardelius can rush the passer. Kyle Williams can. Mario Williams can. Alex can kind of. And we'd like to blitz. So I think it'll be tough coming for Geno Smith. And I think this could be the week that Geno Smith gets benched. Everybody's like, oh, look at the Buccaneers game. They won the game because of... No, they didn't. Buccaneers lost that game. He looked terrible against the Patriots. So, next game, Colts 49ers. Colts, Trent Richardson will be playing. See how much run he'll get. Alden Smith got arrested for doing stupid shit again. I'm pretty sure he'll end up playing this game. He might miss other games, but he's going to end up playing this one. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't, but it's going to be a tough matchup. 49ers secondary, I think, will get lit up. I think their secondary is really bad this year, and Eric Reed will probably be out for this game with a concussion. And he looked really good, but 49ers secondary has kind of always been overrated, but this year they're just playing terrible. If Andrew Luck could get protection from that line, they can easily win this game. Because it'll end up being a shootout. Because Colts defense is terrible. But I'm going to say the 49ers win this game because the Colts defense is terrible and that offensive line is terrible. Next game, Jaguars, Seahawks. Seahawks. Don't even need to spend time on that. 8:30 night game, Bears versus Steelers. I'm excited for this game, but too bad Breaking Bad's on when the game is probably going to the second quarter, and I will not be watching the second quarter because Breaking Bad is goddamn good, and it's on the second to last episode. I'm going to take the Bears for this game. Steelers are just too banged up, no running game. Their defense is kind of struggling. The Bears look like a completely new Bears. Their defense looks actually better, to be honest. I'm going to take the Bears. Monday night game, Broncos versus Oakland. I think it'll be a closer game than a lot of people expect. Oakland's looked good. Their offensive line is much better than people expected. Their defense is much better than expected. Of course, they played Indy and Jacksonville the first 2 weeks, but it's Oakland. Everybody thought, oh, Jacksonville could beat Oakland, but Oakland destroyed Jacksonville. So I think the Broncos will end up winning this game because they have an elite offense, but I think it'll be close for a while. The presence of Von Miller would have been good in this game, but they're not going to have him. But I think Oakland will keep it close for a little bit, and then Broncos will just run away with it. So I'm going to take the Broncos. That is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the Week 3 predictions. We'll see you next week for Week 4. All my information is below, Twitter and stuff. Thanks for watching. I might have a Madden video out this week. I might not. Kind of haven't been playing ranked lately. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.